Please welcome the moderator for the next panel discussion, Peter Welp. Hi, Peter. Good morning.
And?
How are you?
Fine. Everything okay with you?
For me, everything's fine. I've had a busy day yesterday, but I saw you over there at Financial Services. You've had a lot to talk and inform interested customers about as well.
It's really in that way, but thank you very much for your really good
You're more than welcome.
moderation.
The stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it crazy? We discuss about functions and features. We discuss about products. But in the next few minutes, we want to discuss with you about how to earn money. And last but not least, what is the purpose of your business? To earn money. And exactly that we want to do in the next 10, 15 minutes with you, with a customer of us, and with some colleagues of mine. So please welcome with me Jan-Yves Clames. He's Sales Executive Director in the SFS. Please welcome with me Kai-Otto Landwehr. He's CEO of the Siemens Finance and Leasing. It's the German legal entity of the Siemens Financial Services. And last but not least, welcome with me,
Hello.
Peter Sauter. He's CEO from the Micron. So, now let's start a little bit. It's really a hard situation. When you look, we discuss about Industry 4.0, we discuss about digitalization. That are buzzwords, really buzzwords. But the funny thing is, if you were not interested, you were not here. And because of that, it makes sense to discuss about it. When you look to an actual study from Bitkom is a trade association in Germany. They made a survey, and in this survey, they found 8 of 10 companies are discussing about the digital agenda, digital journey. But only, you hear right, only 2% of the customers who were asked, only 2% started in a systematical way to design their process, their business models, and to start this digital journey. Isn't it crazy? But it shows to us and to all of you, there's many work to do, many activities in the next years. Now let's dive a little bit deeper. Kai-Otto, what do you think in this digital transformation? How can you bring these buzzwords in the big picture?
Yeah, good point, Peter. Is it a buzzword or is it a business? And for the last 25 years in the financial services business, it was always my target to bring value in companies. And if we talk about digitalization, the question is indeed, is it something we are talking about like a buzzword, or is it an investment in the company to improve your business, to optimize your processes, to make simply more business? And for me, it's not when you have to invest, it's simply, how and when you bring that in a profitable return in your company. And this is digitalization. Optimize, make more business, make more money out of it from the financial services part.
Thanks. Peter, you as an entrepreneur, what do you think of this development? What means smart factory and digitalization for you in your company?
Yeah, okay, so there are really the buzzwords, and at the end of the day, we as machine building company, we ask ourselves, okay, how we fit into the new technologies and also in the new world of digitalization. At the end, today we are building machine tools for chip-making processes, but this is only a basic need, and we have to invent ourselves new and using the new technologies. So the job is now to generate out of machine tool businesses new products, new hardware, new software, and new features. But at the end of the day, we have to generate a value add for the customer. And this is what we do in research, and this is also what we're doing together. And we started for sure with the digital twins, I think you heard before. And also now we have to generate more value of financing the customer with maybe pay-per-use, etc.
That brings me directly to an additional question to you, Peter. It is a journey. It is a trip to start. What do you feel in your company from the perspective of the employees? Are they ready for this journey?
Yeah, at the end of the day, some are quite really ready. If you're thinking to sales going out, we would like to make deals, but then customers come back with questions and say, hey, Micron, in the last years we grow for 20 to 30%. We have a stoppage of investments for the next 2 years because we are running out of cash. So they are in a lucky situation. But at the end of the day, our salespeople came back and said, hey, you GM, your CEO, now we need new products to support the customer to move on. So this is one example which work. On the shop floor base, for sure the financing issue is not there, but also in the engineering departments, if you talk about digital twins, now we have to generate the employees ready to use these digital twins because they're doing the debugging not on the shop floor, they're doing the debugging in the engineering departments.
Yeah. That's very interesting. Jan-Yves,
yes.
You, as a provider of financial solutions, what is your perspective of Industry 4.0?
I mean, for me, also being in the industrial business quite some time, I just recently moved only to the financial services side. It's linking together a lot of different silos which are out there at the moment. That is for me Industry 4.0 because you have to develop new business models. Yeah? And in the end, it's about people, what you mentioned. They have to talk to each other. They have to be open-minded because the business models are not coming, let's say, from the technology. The technology is only the enabler. So still the business, what's in for the customer and also your customer, you as our customer, so it's really an ecosystem how this works together. And I think it's now way past the discussion about whether we should look into this, and we saw that also in your study. It's now only the question like, how do we do that? That's the question.
Okay, thank you guys for the first round. A critical question. When we look on the time, when you are responsible for business, Kai-Otto, as same as you, Peter, you have the question, is it acceptable to be the first innovator or wait a little bit? What is the point time for you? Is it important for you to start now or to wait? Is it the right point to invest? Kai-Otto?
From my perspective, you have to be one of the first. Otherwise, you are late. And this is the most important question you have to think, you have to ask yourself, and you have to think out of your business, what is the area to improve your business with digitalization? And each and every, digitalization process needs somehow investment. And this is the reason why we are there. Yeah? But you have to be one of the first. Otherwise, you have to copy and paste things you definitely did not tailor-made on your business.
Peter, your perspective?
Yeah, at the end of the day, you have to move. This is obvious. And you need for sure, like we did it in Micron, we developed a new product platform. using new technologies for us, new technologies, but now spending really time to figure out, okay, which more value can we bring to the customer, but also to us. And we have to move, and we have to do piloting system, because there is not a real blueprint. Each of our customer is working in different way, has different philosophies. There are the big OEMs of the automotive, but there are also the small companies with 30 or 50 employees. So we have to move, we have to start and figure out what are their special needs, and then adapt as partners, because we are the face to the customer, and then we can bring up new solutions and develop it ongoing. I cannot tell you we are now ready and finished, or we will be finished in 2 years. I cannot give you the answer, but we are moving, and for sure it's a journey, like you mentioned it, yes.
Yeah, you're right, and it's always better to move and to develop organically.
It is wonderful, the point you mentioned, together. And for you, ladies and gentlemen, it's our self-understanding from Siemens Financial Services, to dive deeper in those things who are necessary for our customers, to help them to design new things with them together. And because of that, year by year, we are analyzing the market, design and support with surveys and with studies. And exactly these days on the Hanover Fair, and perhaps Peter, you can put it in your hand, we have a new white paper from Siemens Financial Services where we discuss exactly those things, practical steps for manufacturing to gain competitive advantage for Industry 4.0. You can get them for free. If you like paper, take them with you. There are guys, you're giving them a print out of them. Or when you say, okay, I have a journey, link us about Facebook or LinkedIn or about our web page of Siemens Financial Services, and you can get this study and all the old studies for free. Next to Jan-Yves.
Yes, Peter.
Yeah, what are the obstacles for manufacturing companies to implement Industry 4.0 at that time?
Yeah, I mean I mentioned the how, and that's where it comes to the obstacle part, and also Mr. Sauter mentioned already one topic. It's like the skill set you need for digitalization or IoT. I mean, one way is, I was saying open-minded. You need people to be open-minded. That's maybe a different kind of breed you need. And the other thing are like simple things. You have as a company an IT department, for example, and the question is then, can they develop an app? Yeah, and then you find out maybe they don't have the right skill sets. So it's really practical things which are not working. So skill sets, as I mentioned. The other part is obviously also the technology, and you see here on the booth a lot of technology around. That could be a challenge as well if you have, for example, a brownfield. Yeah, so how do you connect old machines? That could be a challenge, but there we have a lot of solutions here on the booth, I believe. And the third one is there is a nice study again from Oliver Wyman actually, who demonstrates the economic problem. And that is also something where our customers and we are struggling with. I mean, 41% of people are really struggling with the problem on the return on investment side. And that to also sell to their management and say, look, we need to experiment here right now. I cannot tell you how much we will earn in 10 years with this topic. So that's really important, and I would really like to understand how you solve that in your company, because it's definitely a management topic, it's a CEO topic. How do you solve that and make sure that your people are really have the space and freedom to work on this?
It's a wonderful question you point out there, and it brings me this best bridge to the next question. Peter, lack of financial resources, ROI, you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Can vendor finance help you in your business?
Yeah, at the end of the day, yes. So there are a few examples from our customer side. If we take a look to the today manufacturing business of chip making, we're thinking also to the automotive industry, we're thinking also to the engine. Now in Germany we have quite political topics about the diesel, etc. But this drives also huge companies to redefine themselves. Yeah? The last century they did manufacturing with chip making. In the future they do new style, e-mobility, etc., etc. So these customers request us and say, okay, I would not like to invest in my old machinery. I would like to invest in other things. And there we have, as machine building company, we have to provide them solution. And then we're in contact, because then we talk exactly about financing systems. Because at the end, they would like to use this for 2 years and then hand over it. So they don't like to own the things. This is one example. Another example is for sure, as I mentioned before, they are running out of cash because business was growing the last 7-8 years at the end of the day. So there is cash in the market. But if you have a growth of 20 to 30% of these companies, wow, what about skills, what about manpower, and what about the cash issue? And there our models, which we discussed together, can support that they can do the deal, that they can do additional business and are not in the critical situation running out of cash. So these are 2 examples which we live daily.
Brings me to the next point. Kai-Otto, you're responsible for financing business. Can you give me some examples so that our audience have an idea what are those things that can support Peter in his business?
Well, for sure, I have some examples, but it's not the answer on your question. But I want to give you an example how important speed is in this business. When you remember on the last, the Sommermärchen in 2006, it was the World Championship football in Germany, and the most successful app in 2006 was we hadn't one. We had no app in 2006. So in 2006, this was around about the time the iPhone was introduced. So in these 12 years, we have a dramatic development, an enormous increase of using all these things. So this is our target, and we have the big advantage to combine industry business with financial services. So we always try to find solutions which are fast, which are innovative, like energy contracting, performance contracting contracts, pay-per-use models like smart performance finance powered by MindSphere. So these are innovative and intelligent solutions to finance your investment in digitalization. And it's all about speed. It's all about innovation, and we all have to start now.
Thank you, Kai-Otto. It's exactly answers what I asked. Let's now come to a last question at this. And I will do it like the moderators in some TV shows. In that way, I start with a sentence and you fulfill it. I think I do it in that way. I started with Jan-Yves. In the next few years, data-driven business models will impact my organization as followed. Short sentence.
We will even more focus from Siemens Financial side on business models, because that is where we can create value.
Thanks. Kai-Otto?
Significantly.
Oh, that was very easy.
Thanks for that.
From the time. And you, Peter?
At the end of the day, it's not one sentence, but we have to generate value add for our customers. And if there is a value add for the customers, it's value add for us in the chain. And that's what's impacting the organization from sales to service.
Okay, thank you very much. Gentlemen, ladies, all who are going here around, I think that is a very great applause for them.
Siemens, ingenuity for life.